For every control voltage input that we also have an expression pedal jack that's located just underneath it, and that expression pedal jack sort of works as a master control for everything for that control voltage path. So let's start with we have a little modulation of the filter from the Moog pedal. And we can further brighten that using the front panel filter control. And now I'm going to plug in a Korg / Yamaha type expression pedal. I've plugged that into the back of the unit, and that pedal will now act as a master control for all of the control voltage sources for the filter. So you take all the combined control voltage sources that you have, whatever the Moog pedal is doing, whatever settings you have at the front panel, and then that entire output level is adjusted now by the expression pedal input, and that works for all 4 of the control voltage sources, for filter, for resonance, for pitch, and for LFO. On the back of the SBC-1324 is a dual function Hex Fuzz output jack. You can plug a standard instrument cable into the back of the SBC-1324 and process the Hex Fuzz sound by itself. When you plug that cable in, it automatically subtracts the Hex Fuzz sound from the rest of the GR300 circuit, so you have 2 individual sounds that you can process separately. I'm going to move the cable that I have in the back of the GR300 now over to the individual Hex Fuzz output. It is really loud. So as you can see, the Hex Fuzz control in the front panel also controls the amount of output from the Hex Fuzz signal coming out of the individual output jack. And you can hear how much brighter the Hex Fuzz sound is, and that's because even with the filter wide open on the GR300, the 24 dB per octave low-pass filter is still cutting out some of the very high frequencies, which obviously the Hex Fuzz sound has a lot of. It's 6 individual Hex Fuzz pedals on one circuit. Now the output jack is also a dual function output jack, meaning that it can function as an instrument out, which we're using it as an instrument out now. It can also function as an effects loop for the Hex Fuzz sound only. So I'm going to move the cable back to the GR300. I'm going to crank it back up there. And I have a foot pedal here set up as like a auto wah envelope follower effect. And I'm using a insert cable. One part of the cable is tip ring sleeve, and then it divides into 2 separate cables. One output is tip, the other output is ring. The tip output is the output from the SBC-1324, and the ring is the return to the GR300. So that sound is the Hex Fuzz sound being processed by an external effect pedal. If we want to hear that with the GR300, since it's being combined back inside the GR300, here we go. And the GR300 set for an octave down to make it easier to distinguish between the 2 sounds. Here's just the GR300. And here's both together. And just the Hex Fuzz sound by itself. So there's a front panel balance control on the SBC-1324. And the SBC-1324 has a balance pedal input jack on the back, like the other expression pedal inputs on the SBC-1324. It's electrically designed to work with a Yamaha or Korg type expression pedal, and I'm going to plug one in right now. So when the pedal is in the back or heel position, it's the clean guitar sound, and as you move it forward, you get more synthesizer sound. And that's designed to let you blend between the guitar and the synthesizer output while you're playing. So hooked up right here is a Roland GM70 early pitch to MIDI converter. A little bit slow, but still kind of fun. And it is also programmed to receive control voltage sources, just like a GR300 would be. So we have LFO depth. And we have pitch. Reminds me to turn the Moog pedal on, and we have filter cutoff. And resonance. So there we're using the triangle wave to modulate the GM70. And perhaps everyone's favorite sample and hold random note. And incidentally, the sound module that we're using is a Roland XV5080 with the vintage synth card plugged in. No big surprise there. So that's using the pitch control, which is only supported by the Roland GM70 and the Ibanez MC1, and we're using the Moog MP201 to modulate the pitch control voltage on the SBC-1324, and that's connected to the GM70. And that's driving a Roland XV5080.